My brother spent years stealing everything from me, so I legally stole his entire inheritance. My brother Jake has been stealing from me since we were kids, and he always turned every violation into a favor he was doing for me. Just keeping it warm for you, bro, he'd say, wearing my watch, driving my car, and living in my life like it was a costume he could try on. It all started in high school. He took my credit card and went on a weekend trip with his friends. When I confronted him, he acted oblivious and said, "Isn't family supposed to share everything? Why are you so mad at me?" He claimed I was selfish for asking him to return the money he had spent, and Mom took his side. Then it got worse. He copied my apartment key and let himself in while I was at work. I came home to find him eating a pizza on my couch, and my entire apartment smelled like the devil's lettuce. I got angry at him and told him to get out, which is when he accidentally dropped the entire pizza on my carpet. Oops, my bad, bro. I'll just leave and let you clean that up. I was beyond frustrated, so I installed cameras and changed all my locks in case Jake tried that again. 2 weeks after I had found Jake in my apartment again, I was sleeping when I heard the engine rev outside. Then I heard a thud and a dog's voice being cut off in the middle of a bark. I ran outside to see what was going on, and the scene hit me like a truck. Jake was sitting in my driver's seat on the road with the car's bumper and tire covered in red. He had just ran over Manny, whose body was twisted and crushed. Manny was the cutest golden retriever ever and had been with me for 8 years. He was my only support and had the power to make me smile even on my worst day. Jake looked at me and said, "He just came out of nowhere. It's not my fault." Then he drove off. I rushed to cradle Manny's head, but it was too late. He was already gone. I must have held him and cried for an hour because a neighbor saw me and called the police. Later that day, I saw the security footage and saw Jake sneak into the house using a window. He took my car keys and went back outside, but Manny followed him. Manny knew how I felt about Jake, so he started circling the car and barking at him. Jake completely ignored him and put the car in reverse before running my sweet boy over. The next day, Jake returned the car with a ton of scratches and the dried up red still on the bumper. "Yesterday was just an accident, so you can call your insurance to cover the damage." That's all he said before leaving. I could have attacked him then and hurt him badly, but I didn't. Although I hated Jake with every bone in my body, I was also a lawyer, so my cold, professional side took over, and I decided to make him pay the legal way. First, I compiled all the evidence I had, including the camera footage and testimonies from my neighbors who saw and heard Manny's cries. Next, I documented his years of stealing from me, along with all the arrogant texts he had sent every time I let him get away with it. I could have filed a police report for everything, but I had a way better plan. You see, Jake had inherited $90,000 from our grandmother a couple months ago, and he had bragged about all the trips he could take. I knew he had already spent around $10,000 of it, but the rest of it was about to be mine. So I hired another lawyer to emotionally disassociate myself from the case and filed a lawsuit against him. In court, Jake tried his usual charm and said, "Come on, it was an accident. The dog was old as F anyway." The jury gasped at how he could take a dog's life and laugh about it. Then he brought in our mother to defend him, but all she did was look at me and call me a disgrace. "How dare you sue your own brother? You should be ashamed of yourself." Obviously, that didn't hold any merit at all in the case itself. After my lawyer presented all the evidence I had collected, things ended quickly. I won, and the judge awarded me the full $80,000 that I had requested. As soon as Jake heard the number, his face went white, like he had come back to reality. No, that can't be right. This is injustice." Then the judge told him that he was also going to spend 3 months in prison, followed by a year of house arrest. Jake went berserk and tried to attack me right there in the court while screaming about how I was just jealous of him. He got another month added to his sentence for that. Needless to say, when he went to prison, he was expelled from his college. Even when he got out, all his friends cut him off, and he was forced to live in our mom's basement. He understood that unaliving a dog comes with consequences, so he sent me a long letter of apology. I burned it without ever reading it. When that didn't work, he went crying on Facebook about how his vindictive brother had destroyed his life. But all the comments were basically calling him out for being a criminal. Jake had gone too far and finally paid the price for it.